This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Shasheena Rolle. As always, it is so great to have you with us. January 10, 1967 ended white minority rule in the Bahamas and marked the start of a new political era in Bahamian history, in which a black government was formed to represent the interests of the majority of the people. Today, this message was presented to the country's future leaders. Sabrina Brown has a report.
You might be as confused as I am. Majority rule day. What's so great about it, I say? Died I'm not understanding the reasons for such celebrations.
A dramatization by students of St. George's High School highlighted the fact that many Bahamians appear to take the historic majority rule observance for granted, perhaps for lack of knowledge. On this 46th anniversary of majority rule, the government took its education campaign to public schools throughout the Bahamas. During a special assembly at St. George's High, Principal Keith Barr delivered the national address by the Governor General, His Excellency Sir Arthur Foulkes. He noted that January 10th is considered the most important day in the country's history since the abolition of slavery in the colony of the Bahamas on August 1st, 1834.
Majority Rule Day memorializes what was, in a sense, a second emancipation, since that was the day when people of African descent, who made up the majority of the population of the Bahamas, was enabled for the first time to form the government of the country.
He added that this historic achievement opened many doors of opportunity for Bahamians.
It initiated the fulfillment of the promise of universal access to education. It created the foundation upon which to build a society with opportunity for all. It unleashed the hitherto brutality expressed but powerful entrepreneurial instincts of a people.
Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, told the students it's important that they know the history of this milestone in the country.
In order to know your future, you must first know your past. As I am sure you would remember, on May the 7th, 2012, thousands of registered voters as young as 18 years old turned out in large numbers to cast their ballots for the candidate of their choice. Before majority rule in 1967, this would have been impossible because only landowners could vote. Students, majority rule made the way for average Bahamians like you and I to have the freedom, the rights, and the opportunities that we enjoy today.
The minister challenged the young people to follow in the footsteps of their forefathers.
Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Our forefathers who led us into freedom and independence lived this quote every day and were true Bahamian trailblazers. Finally, students and teachers and invited guests, I would like to challenge you all here today to go confidently in the direction of your dreams.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Thank you, Sabrina. Well, today is the last day for eligible Bahamians to register to participate in the gambling referendum. But if you haven't registered, you still have a few hours left. Assistant Parliamentary Commissioner Denise Pinder says the local office has extended its hours to accommodate residents.
There's been a mad dash by a number of persons this morning and continued up until about 2 o'clock, and then there was a lull. I haven't been back upstairs, but we expect we'll have persons coming up throughout the evening, and we'll be here late. Well, we're in election mode, so our normal working hours for the staff right now is beyond 5 o'clock, but because this is the last day, we'll probably be here until about 8 o'clock, at least registering individuals who want to. If they're still here past the 8 o'clock hour, we will process until we've done the last voter. I think there was a mix of individuals, but there's still a number of young persons who are coming out and registering for this election exercise.
Thank you. Now, for persons whose voters' cards may be lost or stolen, you have until January 19th to get a replacement. And it is a story that for weeks has grabbed local and national headlines. Now, tonight, the man at the center of the NIB saga is commenting on his recent firing, his future with the Progressive Liberal Party, and the way forward. Joan Davis Rolle has the details.
The former National Insurance Board Chairman Gregory Moss breaking his silence after being fired by the Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, on January 3rd of this year. His termination coming at the height of the NIB debacle and other controversial issues involving Moss, including an NIB-issued credit card. However, the proverbial straw which reportedly broke the camel's back came after Moss issued a 3-page press statement via the internet, where the Member of Parliament for Marco City publicly challenged the Prime Minister. In an interview with ZNS News, Moss spoke candidly about the recent turn of events, saying he has no regrets.
I invited a termination of my services. I was asked to resign. And if you would simply read the letter, I said, no, I won't resign because I don't see that as being the right course, but I expect a termination letter to come. You cannot take these things personally. I am Gregory Moss. I will always be Gregory Moss, and any other person's view or otherwise of me doesn't affect that. We are called for a purpose in whatever area of expertise that you apply yourself. You have to leave your ego at the door and be willing to leave your flesh in the game. You have to be willing to do what it takes to build. And if you're not willing to do that, then you ought to be doing something else. This is truly national service. This is not somewhere that you go to make more money. You make far less money in Parliament, at least I do, than what I can do otherwise or anywhere else. This is where you go because you believe in building a more perfect Commonwealth. And you go and do it.
Since then, there has been much speculation that Moss may be leaving the Progressive Liberal Party. Well, is that $7 million question that ZNS News put to the local attorney at law?
I am in the Progressive Liberal Party not because others haven't invited me repeatedly to join their parties. I'm in the Progressive Liberal Party because it's the party that I think most embraces what I believe in and most encapsulates an environment in which I can express and contribute to the development of this country in a way that I think is important.
Do you have any plans for leaving the party?
No, that hasn't changed. I don't. Again, if you have an issue within your family, you don't leave your family. And let me be very clear. The press statement I gave properly expresses what I think.
Moss is adamant that he is a nationalist and remains true to his convictions as a Bahamian and vows to continue to be a part of that nation-building process.
I am a fervent nationalist, and I don't see the party as having taken any position that convinces me that they're not nationalists. But my view is simply that we build the country from where we are, and that's my intention.
Do you feel that your relationship with the Prime Minister has been strained as a result of this incident?
Not from my side, and I don't believe from his side either. This is not personal. This is national. This is everyone contributing. You know, the Bible has this interesting phrase about iron sharpening iron, that there's safety in the multitude of counsel, that we ought to come and reason together. I don't see anything wrong with that. And I also understand there are consequences on all sides. Consequences on all sides. I have taken my position. I stand by my position. I accept any consequences from that, and the rest moves on.
Joan Davis Rolle, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. There's more news from the North right after this break.